Hello, this mixed level Pilates class is going to concentrate on back strength. Whenever we're doing any Pilates, we think about the core, which includes back muscles, but this session is particularly targeting the muscles of the back. So all of the exercises will be working on improving back strength, which in turn will improve core strength and posture. So if you come onto your hands and knees, and we'll just get the music started, and then sit back just into a child's pose. So we're taking a stretch of the lower back and the hips. And we'll just stay here for a moment and breathe. And then come up onto all fours, and we'll continue to move the spine as we come through a cat stretch. So we take a breath and look forwards. As you breathe out, tuck the chin and round the spine. Inhaling, arching the back, looking up. Exhaling and rounding. So just taking a moment to notice how the spine moves. Any sticky bits? Any bits that don't flow quite so easily? You might just need to take a little bit more care with the exercises today. But get to know your body, how it works, how it moves. Do that a couple more times. Next time you tuck the chin and you round the spine, stay there. So imagine you have that rope around your waist, pulling you up in the middle. You're separating the shoulder blades, you're tucking the tailbone under, and just finding that stretch across the top of the back, all the way over. Take a breath. As you breathe out, with your rounded spine, sit the bottom back. Inhale to come up. Exhale, sit back. Inhale to come up. So we're just trying to increase the rounding, just purely to stretch out. And then this time you sit back. We then go from a rounded spine to lengthening the spine, letting the head drop, reaching as far forwards as you can, while sitting back as far as you can. Keep the length in the arms, walk the hands over to one side. Reach through both arms, but you'll find there's a little bit more length on one side. Try to walk those fingertips a little further, increasing your stretch. And then go over to the other side. Exactly the same. Lengthening both arms, but you'll notice a bit more stretch on one side. Come back to the middle. Come to all fours, and then just lie yourself down onto your tummy. And you're going to be placing one hand on top of the other and just resting your forehead on your hands. So what we're concentrating on is the activation of those back muscles. So let's try and switch off the legs. Got your feet about hip distance apart. Allow the heels to fall out so you can lose any tension to the hamstrings. And then just make sure you're not squeezing the bottom. So keeping that relaxed, keeping the shoulders down, the first thing you're going to do is just activate the core. So you're pulling belly button back towards the spine, you're pulling up through the pelvic floor. And you should just feel that little bit of tension around the midsection, and you should be aware that those back muscles have switched on a little. You might not notice it a lot until we start moving, but we want to find that activation all the way around and then let it go. Notice the difference. Switch on the core, belly button to spine, pelvic floor drawing up. Just think about the lower back finding activation. Now we're staying with a steady breath. I don't want you to use your arms. You're just going to lift your head and chest slowly away from your hands, finding that work to the lower back, and then slowly coming down. So we're not taking any force, any momentum. Do the same again. So a very simple exercise, but can you do it without any help from any other muscles? Simply core muscles doing the work. So it takes about 4 counts to lift and 4 counts to lower. And I want you to really get used to how this feels now, because as we move on to the more challenging exercises, the principles are still the same. So this time, as you come up, stay there. Head and chest lifted, and then can you just float the arms off without finding any work to the back, to the neck, not to the back, sorry, to the back of the legs, to the bottom. You just should have increased the work to the lower back. Stay for a couple of breaths, and then come back down. So we're going to do that same thing again. Engaging the core, floating head and chest, without any help, without any lifting of the legs. Float the arms. We stay for a few breaths, asking that bit more of the core to support the body. Hands come down, head comes down. And we'll do it once more. Engaging the core, floating the head and chest. Maintain that height. No movement of the feet or the knees. Lift the arms. So it's not about how high you come up. It's just about which muscles you're working. Stay for a couple of breaths. And then lower the arms, lower the head. Have a little rock through the hips. And then hands come under the shoulders. And we come up onto your hands and knees. So just making sure wrists are directly under the shoulders. You look straight ahead of you, so you don't want the head to drop down. And hips are over knees. So remembering that feeling of activating the back muscles. Core muscles go on. Slide the left leg back. Flex that left foot. Now from here, we're just going to lift and lower this left leg without changing anything through the lower back. If you lift too high, you might find that you start to kick the leg up and increase the arch to the back. We're maintaining neutral. So we're using those stabilizing muscles. Your bottom and leg will do some work as well, but I want you to find that strength to the lower back. Belly button to spine. Next time you lift, hold it there, and we just move a little way up and down. So much smaller. If you had a glass of champagne balanced on your tailbone, you shouldn't drop or spill it at all. Hold in place. Let's do 4 more. And then we hold it here, hold steady. Keep focusing on a spot on the floor, and then opposite arm. So I'm going to just bring my supporting hand back under my shoulder and hold. So right arm, left leg. Drop the shoulders from the ears. Find length to the spine, length to the leg. Hold and breathe. We're holding for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hands come down, sit back to child's pose. Take a little stretch. come back down onto your tummy. So we're going back to our swan dive. This time we're going to try and lift the arms and the head at the same time. So switch off the legs, you can turn the toes in, the heels out. Drop the shoulders from the ears and just engage the core. So we don't want any lift of those legs. From here, in your head, count to 4. Start to lift the upper body as a whole. And then come down slowly. So we're not in a hurry with this. It's all about activating the muscles correctly. Now if you feel your legs are lifting, or you're working your bottom, try to pull the belly button towards your spine. Try to activate those back muscles. We do want the bottom and the legs to work, but for this exercise, I want you to be able to isolate those back muscles. So a few more. And next time you lift, stay up there. Stay with a steady breath, lifting an inch, lowering an inch. Lift an inch, lower an inch. Keep that going. Four to go. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come down slowly. A little bit more intense, that one. Push onto your hands and knees. Take a little stretch. So we're going to come back to our kneeling exercise. I'm going to turn round the other way. So we've got shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Keep looking ahead of you. Slide your right leg back, flexing the foot. Now core muscles on. Let's find that stabilization. And then we just lift and lower this leg just to the height of the bottom, and without it affecting anything or any position of the spine. So you want everything stabilizing. So this one, you are working your leg and bottom too. They should all work together, but quite often the leg and the bottom takes over from the back. So we want the back to be there to stabilize you. Let's do one more. Next time you lift the leg, hold it there. It's 1 inch higher, 1 inch lower. So everything's steady. Everything's still. Belly button to spine. Core muscles on. Holding in place. Keep looking forwards, don't let the head drop. And then next time you lift, stay there. Opposite arm, reach it forwards. Oh, there's me wobbling. Try to use those core muscles to hold you in place. Hold steady. Staying for a few more breaths. And then gently release down. Well done. Sit the bottom back towards the heels. Give that lower back a stretch. Give the arms a rest. And then we come down onto the tummy, but this time we come into a Sphinx pose. So the chest is lifted, shoulders are away from the ears. So we're into this increased arch to the back, and it may be that that's enough. You don't want to go any further. If you do, we're going to look at mobilizing as we hold this position. So lifting the chest, looking forwards, push down into your right hand, lift the elbow. Lower down, lift the left elbow, and just keep that going. Noticing that small little shift from side to side. Now it might be that your arm doesn't want to completely straighten. That's fine, just work to where feels right for you. A few more goes, keeping the chest lifted. Finishing your last one, and then lower down and back to forehead on the hands. So we're building on our swan dive, and we're going to add just a little bit more, but it's just an option, you don't have to do it. So we're engaging the core, floating the upper body without tensing the legs. From there, maintain the height, take the arms out wide, and then see if you can lift a little higher. Bring the arms or the hands back to the forehead and slowly lower down. Lifting the chest, slowly does it. Hold steady, maintain the height. Arms out, lift a little higher, hands back and lower down. Keep that going. So the key here is control. It's very tempting to fling the body through this, so you're really just using momentum. So we're bringing the upper back in as well. Let's do one more of those. And then release it. Well done. Hands under the shoulders, push up onto your hands and knees, and sit the bottom back, reaching the arms forwards. So staying on your hands and knees, I'll just turn round. So last exercise for a bit of strength, walking the hands as far forwards as you can. Core muscles on, you come up and you bring your shoulders over your wrists. Now ideally we're getting quite a flat back position, and then you sit back. So this is level one. See how that feels. Each time you come forwards, you should just be aware that the core muscles switch on. Making sure each time shoulders come over wrists. If you want a little bit more, hands go further forwards. As you come forwards, you tuck the toes, you lift the knees. Knees come down, and we sit back. But if that does feel too much for your back, then you can stay with the knees down. So we have one more option here. From the plank, instead of putting the knees down, you can come forwards into a down dog. Hold for a couple of breaths and take it back. So really using the core as a whole. Obviously your arms, your legs are doing something too. Let's do two more. On this last one, hold the plank and breathe. Shoulders away from your ears. Core muscles on. And the knees come down. Sit the bottom back. Let's take the knees a little wider and we'll go back to where we started. Reaching along the sides of the body. Come up to all fours and we'll come back to our cat stretch. Taking a breath. As you breathe out, tuck the chin and round. Inhale, lift the head and arch. Keep that going. So just releasing tension from where you've worked. Next time you round the spine, stay there. Coming onto the fingertips, so we give the wrists a rest, and then you sit the bottom back and increase the rounding as you come up. Do 2 more of those. Time you sit back, stay there, stay on the fingertips, walk the hands forwards, ease the wrists forwards, stretch out the shoulders, release the wrists. And then flatten the hands, turn the right palm, slide the right arm under the left, take a little twist, just stretch across the upper back. Gently release, let's change sides, turn the palm, slide the arm. Back to the middle one last time, reach the arms forwards, drop the nose towards the mat. Slowly walking the hands in, coming up to a seated or kneeling position. So I hope you find that that's helped strengthen the lower back. If you do that on a regular basis, it can really help improve core strength as a whole and improve posture. Well done.